तेज पुंज सत्पुरुष है, कह हंसन विश्राम। अनुभव गति का पंथ है, बूझत बूझत बूझ। साहिब अनुभव गम्य है, सूझत सूझत सूझ।
VYGOS is Vihangam Yoga Global Online Satsang, scheduled every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Those who would miss to attend the Saturday session can listen to the broadcast of replay on Sunday at 4:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time. The aim of this forum is to give the entire globe an opportunity to learn the ancient science of meditation and benefit from this pious service inspired by Sadguru Sadaval Dev Ji Maharaj, the pioneer of Vihangam Yoga. If you are interested in learning the technique or want to conduct a program at your place, and for any inquiries related to it, please feel free to write to us at info@vihangamyog.org.
Jai Sadgurudev. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. I, Subhash Chandra from Singapore, would like to welcome all of you to this Vihangam Yoga Global Online Satsang Forum. Today's session is a special session. We are going to have lots of question and answers today. And our topic for question and answer is all about mind and soul. In previous some of the sessions, we have already discussed about mind and soul. We have taken lots of questions on those as well, but we felt that there are a lot many other questions still available which need to be answered. That's why we decided to have the question and answer session specifically for mind and soul. For today's session, I'd like to welcome our speakers and our role holders from USA, Italy, and India. Rekha ji, Tulika ji, and Dauluri ji is from USA. Leela ji is from Italy. Sankalp ji and Aditya ji are from India. But before we start, it is our mark for undying tradition to invoke the Sadguru at the beginning of this session. So for that reason, I would like to invite Rekha ji to start with Swagat Gan and Mangal Gan. Rekha ji.
Thank you, Subhash ji, and Jai Sadgurudev, everybody. Swagat Gan. आज स्वागत नित्य गुरुवर संत शुभागमाई अध्यात्म विद्या ज्योति सोमरस बरसाई। दोष दुर्गुण दूर करिके शुद्ध हंस बनाई। भेद गम गति ज्ञान गर्जन शक्ति द्वार हटाई। खुले द्वारा शब्द सागर भक्त जन अनवाई। जन सदा फल विश्व शिक्षक शान आन बचाई। आज स्वागत नित्य गुरुवर संत शुभागम आई। मंगलगान। विश्व शांति नाम मंगल परम गुरु को ध्याइए। वर्ग द्वंद्व अशांति दूर कर भाव भेद मिटाइए। सार्वभौम समष्टि सत्ता ध्यात्म राज्य बनाइए। भेष भाषा भाव जगमय ज्ञान पर दर्शाइए। समृद्धि सुख शांति धरातल स्वर्ग भूमि बनाइए। विश्व शिक्षक जन सदा फल नीति स्वर अपनाइए। विश्व शांति नाम मंगल परम गुरु को ध्याइए। बोलिए सद्गुरुदेव की जय। ओवर टू यू सुभाष जी।
Thank you very much, Rekha ji. As usual, very melodious. Now we'll move towards Swarved part. Before that, I would like to say a few more things about Swarved as we have been hearing about it. Unlike other modern authors who basically borrow their thoughts by reading or listening to others, this book, Swarved, has been written on the basis of Sadhguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj's own meditation experience, his own meditation experience. And it is a unique, comprehensive, and all compassing treasure trove covering the entire gamut of spirituality. According to our experience, the reader of the Swarved gets an authentic theoretical understanding of all the concepts of spirituality. It's not just one or two, it is all the concepts of spirituality, something which many others are not able to attain even after years and years of reading of the various scientific, religious, or spiritual literature available in the world. Right now, we have Dauluriji from USA to recite some verses from Swarved along with the meaning. Dauluriji.
Thank you, Subhashji. Good morning, everyone. This is Vijay Davluri, joining today's satsang from Falls Church, Virginia, in USA. Mind is one of the four internal organs of human body. Mind controls the other sensory organs of the body and redirects the power of soul through sensory organs in different worldly desires. This is the one which inspires sensory organs to go for different worldly desires and works with those organs to achieve those desires. Later, the same mind controls us to such an extent that our sensory organs do things without the desire of the soul in completely uncontrolled and unfettered manner. Swamiji Sadguru Sadafal Devaji Maharaj says in Swarved, मन सुरतीले उड़त है बाहर दृश्य पसार जीव बुले निज रूप को भटकी रहे संसार. There are two scenes in front of the soul. One is external physical world and the other is internal world within self. When mind behaves independently, then it wastes the power of the soul in external world to fulfill worldly desires by the help of our body. On the other hand, when mind remains under the control of the soul, then it utilizes energy of the soul in its spiritual growth and enhances the power of the soul. A controlled mind can do anything in this world, whereas an uncontrolled mind can destroy us. A controlled mind generates strong willpower. How does this mind work? How does this mind deter the journey of the soul to its true and ultimate abode? Swamiji says in Swarved, मन की चाल अनेक है कुटिल कुदंग कुबाव लखत बेद सब संत है धोखा में नहीं आप. Mind has all different ways of deluding the soul. It leverages every chance to drag the soul to Prakriti when the soul agrees to submit. A Grihast saint knows every such trick of the mind and he does not fall prey to this mind. How do you then put this very wavery mind in check? Swamiji explains clearly this aspect in Swarved as follows. अक्षर से मन उपजे जड़ चेतन नहीं रूप माध्यम अंश प्रमाण है आगंतक बहुरूप. Cosmic creator or Akshar Brahma is the origin of mind. So mind comes under complete control only when mind dissolves at its origin. Navigating the mind from the state of restlessness to its origin of restfulness is possible only through the assistance of a divine master. This powerful entity of mind can only be controlled with the grace of true Guru, the Sadguru. Swamiji further states in Swarved, Maya Sukshma मन ही है मन कर सकल पसार कवि कोविद ऋषि मुनि पढ़े सद्गुरु एक आधार. To really win the internal fight between the self and mind, it is necessary to find the true master who has the divine energy to navigate our mind from restfulness to from restlessness to restfulness. Sadguru is essential for that. To attain the real form of devotion, which is called as a conscious devotion, we need to learn how to collect our consciousness from the clutches of this vicious mind. With this, I end today's Swarved Dohas. Over to you, Subhashi. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dauluriji. Very rightly said about mind and soul, how mind is acting as the mediator for the soul to connect with the outer world. Now it's time for the question and answer. Today, we have two of our speakers who take all the questions together. Leela ji from Italy, and Aditya ji from India. I welcome both of you on this forum. Today,
Thank you, Subhashi.
the questions which we have picked up, all these are from Slido, which are pending so far. I would like to request the listeners, still, if you feel like putting some questions based on today's question and answer session, if you want to put some more questions on Slido, please put your questions on slido.com/vygos. We'll try to pick those again here on this forum. As I mentioned at the beginning, we have already had 3-4 sessions on mind and soul separately, where we have discussed lots of points about mind and soul as well, how mind works, what is the soul, where does it reside, how does it function, and we have answered some of the questions related with these 2 points as well. But today we have some specific questions, and Leela ji, I would like to start it with you. One of the questions which I have in my list is that everyone in this world, in fact, most of the people, have their own perception about the soul. But if someone has to know where this soul reside in this body, how someone would know about this? Leela ji.
Yes. So the soul is an atomic energy. And well, I mean, we read from many scriptures, from Upanishad, from Gita, that the soul, it is said, residing in the heart. So in the heart, we cannot understand exactly the physical heart. I mean, the muscle fiber. It is said, it is called in Upanishad Hirdayastan, and it's a subtle place. We know that we have one grossly body, the material body, and one subtle body that's just over this body. I mean, inside this body, as we can say, a football balloon. We have the cover and we have inside a bladder. So we have to think of this subtle body, the place where all this energy resides. And it is said in the Gita, the soul is invisible, is unconceivable, it's unbreakable, cannot be wet by water, cannot be burned by fire. Not subject to space and time, never born nor die at the death of the body. It's linked to the prana and the subprana that gets the energy of the soul even in the whole body. It will animate the body. And when the prana do not function anymore, and all this prana direction goes upward, also the energy of Atma follow the prana and go to the door from where we leave the body.
Yes.
So now how we do know that it is residing in the soul. In meditation only we can perceive the energy of the soul, because in our life, I mean, when mind, it is the media, through from where we see the world, then we cannot perceive the soul, or I mean, just sometime in some experience, some kind of perception we can have from inside. But exactly to perceive the soul, it's necessary to pacify the mind and then put the mind in a place where it becomes steady, and the energy of the mind will not be the will not be the media, and all our flow of energy will not go outward but inward. And so a perception of the soul is possible. When the perception of the soul is possible, then we encounter this energy that makes us aware we are not this body. And we encounter the surati, this subtle energy, that it is described as a spider. Walk into his thread to go upward. So the energy of the Atma walk on the Makardar to know, to go upward into the 10th door and meet the divine energy, the cosmic energy. But this happens through the process of meditation, and does not happen to a common man who lives just running, all the mind and buddhi and confine his life into the material world. So only through meditation, and the exact meditation also, because for meditation we can even understand many other, sometimes we call meditation kind of guiding the mind, of knowing something. But the real meditation is the one who teach us how to, and who actually not only teach but leads us to that land where the mind it is absorbed, and the buddhi and all the function that have come into the body with the soul, all the antahakaran are pacified, and so we perceive the energy of the soul. So then we can know exactly where it resides. This is enough as answer?
Yep, very rightly you have said, Leela ji. Swamiji also says that in Swarveda he has said, Ek tattva hai atma anubhav mein yah aaye. What you're saying is the meditation, the experience, the soul itself can experience the existence of soul. The mind and the body are not capable enough to experience the soul itself. It's the soul which is capable to experience the soul. Aditya ji, on this particular question, I would like to understand something from you as well. If you can throw some lights on this particular question.
Right. Subhashi, as Leela ji has very elaborately explained all the points of this question, I think the seeker who's asked that everyone has their own perception where the soul resides. I think the problem of the differences in the perception of where the soul resides and everything about it is that most of these perceptions and beliefs exist in the realm of the mind and the intellect, and whereas the soul is a subject matter of experience and not a matter of discussion. So as Leela ji very aptly and correctly said, that it's only through meditation that one knows and realizes its own true self and the soul. And yes, the soul, the true location of the soul is in the heart. So that's about it, Subhashi. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Aditya ji. From here, we can see very easily that, of course, soul does exist, and it exists at one place in our body. But if we are truly a soul, in that perspective, I have another question to you, Aditya ji, that in spirituality, why then controlling mind is the first step? Why can't we directly work with the soul? Aditya ji.
Thank you, Subhashi. So it is common knowledge that we are our soul and not our body or the mind. Now, the mind uses the energy of the soul to function, and it uses our five senses to make sense of the world outside. Thus, the energy of a soul is constantly being directed outwards by our mind through our senses. Now, the Atma, which is a conscious entity, has been shackled to the inert Prakriti or the phenomenal world with the mind as its leader. As Vijayji was reciting a certain doha from the Swar Ved, Mane surati le urat hai, bahar drishya prasar, जीव भूले निज रूप को भटकी रहे संसार. So the Atma, being a conscious entity, has been shackled to the inert Prakriti with the mind now as its leader, and the soul has forgotten its own true self. Hence, to begin the spiritual journey, we need to redirect our soul's energy inwards through our senses, and this can only be done first by controlling the mind, as the soul has forgotten its true self. And only when the mind is steadied, controlled, and directed away from the phenomenal world does the soul realize its true self. Therefore, controlling the mind has to be the first step in one's spiritual journey. Otherwise, it will incessantly manifest itself through various thoughts and delude the soul. Over to you, Subhashi.
Thank you, Aditya ji. In Sarved, again, I would like to say something from Sarved. Swamiji has says, मन के सुख मन कर्म को मन का ओट हजार, मन विनोद मन बाग फल मन नाटक है सार. Means the mind has so many diversified attitude and different things where one can go from one to another. It is very difficult to control the mind. And since, as at the beginning time, Dauluriji has mentioned from Sarved that the soul is working in this outer world with the help of mind. So to go back to level of the soul, we first need to control mind, of course. Leela ji, here also I would like to understand from you if you can say something on this particular thing, that why we need to control mind first before we reach to the level of soul. Leela ji.
Yes, as said, I mean, the Atma, when coming in, I mean, from the state of Hansa, and then again coming into the Mahakaran and Karan and Suksham and stool body. I mean, it takes, all the dress and the coat of them, to live in the body, in the stool body, in the grossly body. So at the end, I mean, it is needed. The mind is the function which mediate the material life, the social life. So we need the mind. And so the soul, it's taking all the stress while coming down. It's not in the pure form. Even the soul forget the true nature, the pure nature, and comes in the bondage of the Prakriti. So mind, it is needed to live in the material world, because mind mediate all the function we have in the world. And so once it comes to the right point where life after life, a person come into the point where asking himself who I am. And so from there, once through the many experience can have in the material world, realize that that's not the happiness. Because life after life, maybe we then get sometime the perception of the soul and the purity that sometimes inspire us from inside. So then at that point, we understand that the process is to go back. And so the first instrument to live is the mind. And so mind we can control only through meditation.
Yes, Leela ji, since you mentioned that we can control the mind only through meditation, so here I connect next question, which actually says, how do we control our mind? And many times I have seen when we talk to some people are there who actually are in fear not to control the mind. Some people say, oh, my mind is so powerful, it is so strong, why should I control it? Are they really in fear? Or if at all mind has to be controlled, you mentioned that it's the meditation through which it can be controlled. So can you elaborate some more points here about how to control the mind, Leela ji?
Yes, I mean, in the world, in the material world, we can control the mind in many ways, or educating our mind, or sharpening our mind in, like to obtain what we need. But the control we need for, fixing the mind somewhere, because the energy of the mind is, of course, going out on the outside world. And to understand and to go more close to our deeply internal energy, then when the energy of mind flows outside, it's disturbing us, because again the eyes will go outside and we'll see the world outside. The teaching of the Guru is just fix the energy of the soul, of the mind comes out at 80% through our vision, our sight, through the eyes. So we have first to make one vision. And by that, we can understand and we can see the energy of mind. And we can also understand what it is mind, how it works, the energy of mind. Because once I try to take in one place, mind will run away, will go here and there. And in a second of time, it goes to the other side of the world, or it goes through the past, through the future, bringing me totally outside, running after the energy of the mind. So then I understand how it is important that energy has to be fixed in one point, and only then all the power of this energy will go inside, will work inside. How to say, it's an eye to the world, to the outside world. So in some way I have to close this eye.
Right. Connecting to this, I have one question which will, of course, come on the eyes and the mind controlling. But before that, we have Sankalp ji joined from India, and just for a couple of minutes, he would do a bhajan, and then we will come back again to the question and answer session to continue with 4-5 more questions. I would like to welcome Sankalp ji from India, please.
Thank you, Subhash ji. So it's my privilege to present a bhajan in this forum. Today's bhajan is taken from the collection of Kabir Sahab. Here is the bhajan. Jai Sadgurudev. मिट्टी में मिलेगी मिट्टी, पानी में पानी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी, पानी का बबूला जैसी तेरी जिंदगानी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी। भाई और बंधु तेरे काम नहीं आएंगे, कुटुंब कबीला सब यही छूट जाएंगे। हो भाई और बंधु तेरे काम नहीं आएंगे, कुटुंब कबीला सब यही छूट जाएंगे। कहाँ संग चलेंगे तेरे मित्र और साथी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी। मिट्टी में मिलेगी मिट्टी, पानी में पानी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी। रही ना निशानी जग में राजा और वजीरों की, एक एक सांस तेरी लाख लाख हीरों की। हो रही ना निशानी जग में राजा और वजीरों की, एक एक सांस तेरी लाख लाख हीरों की। 2.5 गज टुकड़ा डोली होएगी रवानी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी। मिट्टी में मिलेगी मिट्टी, पानी में पानी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी। खाना और पीना केवल नहीं तेरा काम है, गुरु का विज्ञान ले ले जहाँ हरि नाम है। खाना और पीना केवल नहीं तेरा काम है, गुरु का विज्ञान ले ले जहाँ हरि नाम है। बीत न जाए तेरी सारी जिंदगानी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी। मिट्टी में मिलेगी मिट्टी, पानी में पानी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी। कर ले कमाई जग में सद्गुरु नाम की, इसी में भलाई तेरी बात होगी काम की। हो कर ले कमाई जग में सदगुरु नाम की, इसी में भलाई तेरी बात होगी काम की। जन्म को सफल तो कर ले, कर मत नादानी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी। मिट्टी में मिलेगी मिट्टी, पानी में पानी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी। पानी का बबूला जैसी तेरी जिंदगानी, अरे अभिमानी, अरे अभिमानी। सतगुरुदेव की जय। ओवर टू सुभाष जी।
Thank you very much, Sankalp ji. This particular bhajan, in short, I'm telling, this particular bhajan basically tells us that the attachment what we have with our body is meaningless. We are soul, we are conscious entity, and it's our prime right and prime deed to bring our base from body, from mind to the soul. And for that, we have to surrender ourselves to the Sadguru, who will take us, who will bring us to the level of soul. Once again, thank you very much, Sankalp ji. And now we are coming back to the question and answer session, where I would like to again welcome Leela ji and Aditya ji. So before bhajan, we were discussing about, of course, mind and soul. And last where we left was how to control the mind. And meditation is the first thing which we need to practice. And of course, it starts with the eyes. That's where we ended last time. Aditya ji, here I would like to ask you one question. One of the question which is in the Slido, it says that what is the advantage of doing meditation by keeping eyes half closed, half opened, and so that, I mean, the target can be focused on? Why can't we do it at the first level of meditation by closing the eyes? Aditya ji.
Thank you, Subhashi. So, as I mentioned earlier, the energy of our soul is being directed outwards by our mind through our senses. And hence, to begin the spiritual journey, we need to redirect our soul's energy inwards through our senses by controlling the mind. Now, so the mind is functioning on behalf of our soul, but now it is so attached and has got the soul attached to the inert prakriti through our senses. So the world occurs to us through our senses, and the mind makes sense of it. Now, the first step to begin to reverse the process requires us to keep our mind, our eyes, I beg your pardon, open, because in the awakened state, it is said that our mind sits behind our eyes, and hence, by concentrating our gaze at a particular point, thoughts wither away and our mind starts becoming stable. So, this is the starting point of the inward journey in spirituality. And it begins, hence, with our senses activated and active, and our mind at its closest point behind the eyes. And we're trying to work with them in tandem and to concentrate at the particular point prescribed by the Vihangam yoga technique. Now, only after having full control of this stage of meditation we progress to the next stage of our practice where the eyes are closed while we meditate. So therefore, it's not really a question of an advantage here, I would say, but it's more of an indispensable stage in our meditation practice. Over to you, Subhash.
Thank you, Aditya ji. Leela ji, just right now in the bhajan, we heard Are Abhimani. Abhimani means the egoistic person. And what the bhajan said that most of the human being are being egoistic, being attached to their body. Related to this, theoretically, many of the people understand the advantage, the uses, or the benefits of meditation to control the mind, but still they don't practice. Is really the term ego acting behind this? Is really ego a hurdle to progress further in spirituality? What is this ego? Can we understand it in a much more better way from you, Leela ji?
Yes. Well, we can say, as we have, an anatomy of the body. I was a student of medicine, so I used to study the anatomy of the body. Then in the yoga system, we have also one yoga anatomy. And what we know, our inside organs. We have 4 organs, which we call antakaran. And those organs are mind, buddhi, chitta, and ahankar. Well, mind we have described already what kind of function is. Then we have buddhi, the intellect, which help us, one lower and higher intellect, which help us to discriminate. And the chitta is the memory. And so because the ego exists, so I exist also in my singularity. So it's a necessary requirement once coming into the material world. Because we need in our childhood, we're not able to move or to deal in a society with the around world. And so the ego, it brings the full attention from mother, father, from the people around. Slowly, once we grow, the ego develop also itself in such a way that I get also confused. It becomes like me and mine. So at this point, as we said before, for the one whose karma is ripe to progress in the spiritual life, so there are 2 options: to live as a common man, running just into the, confined into the material life. So, so we go on with I am, and I am the one, I see in the mirror, and I am the one who is having this title, and the one who is in that profession. The other option is, at a certain point, comes the question, who am I, really? And I'm not the baby I saw in the mirror, not I am the young man I saw a few years later, nor I am the one in the world, like professing like a lawyer, a doctor, because in my old age, hardly I can remember if even my profession what was. So who's the I? At this point, cannot even, the ego, the identification, the ego was giving me in my childhood. At this point of life, it's like bringing me, it's leading my life. And it's not even something. Once I realize, okay, I'm not this body, I'm not this profession, I'm not that financial power I have, in my pocket. But it's not like a quote, I just take it out. So need to, at a certain point of life, once we realize we are not this body, we are not this, we're not that, and so then meditation will help us again to focus the mind and feel the energy, the real I am. So ego at a certain point of life, yes, it's like our prison. So it hurts like our process of evolving in our spiritual life.
Thank you, Leela ji. Very rightly said that, of course, the soul has much power. I think at one place in Swared also it is mentioned that a soul has a power equivalent to 16 suns, the sun, moon and sun, the sun, 16 suns. If
Yes.
a sun has so much of power, still the mind is overruling it. Here I would like to ask Aditya ji, the question is, when the soul is so powerful already, it exists with so much of power, but when it comes with the body what we have right now, the mind is overruling it. What is the reason? I mean, why is it such? Aditya ji.
Thank you, Subhashi. So, yes, mind is very powerful and has its own way over the soul. But this is due to ajnanata and the ignorance of the soul as it gets deluded by the mind and is governed by it. Only through Vihangam Yoga technique is the mind brought under control and allows for the soul to experience its own true self. In Swarved, Swami Sadguru Sadafal Dev Ji says, Abhimani jar dekh ka bhule apan roop, आप चिन्हे नहीं पड़े महाभ्रम कूप. So, as the mind has the soul in its clutches and is shackled to the inert prakriti, the soul has truly forgotten its own self and lets the mind direct it in whichever direction it chooses to. So, of course, once the mind is rested at its point of origin, then the soul realizes its own true self, and the feeling of and contact with the inert entities begin disappearing, and the feeling of the conscious starts developing exponentially. So, in a way, yes, the mind is very powerful. It's just only because the soul has forgotten its true own form. But what is really required is to sort of practice, do sadhana, and to let the soul realize itself and follow its true path towards the attainment of this and unity with the Supreme Soul under the guidance of a Sadguru. Thank you, Subhashi.
Thank you, Aditya ji. To honor the time, I think I can ask only one question. Of course, we have some more questions which probably we need to carry forward in the next session to be held on 5th of January. We would have more and more discussion on similar type of questions related with mind, soul, and even some other topics as well, like Kundalini or karma and some other things as well. So I would request here to the listeners, please keep putting your questions right now, whatever sessions we have done on that basis, so that we can pick it up in the next session. Leela ji, just a last question to you, and then we will wrap it out. How someone would come to know that yes, now his mind is actually being controlled or has been controlled? Of course, the process to control the mind is the meditation. Many people do meditation, but I'm sure out of them there are so many who would not claim that yes, their mind is controlled. How would someone know that yes? Is there any signal, or is there any points based on which they can know yes, my mind is controlled? Just quickly in 1 minute probably.
Yes, there are signs when, I mean, the mind is controlled, when mind, it's not anymore an obstacle to, I mean, to our spiritual life, to live in the light of our of the knowledge. So mind is not keeping us anymore a slave of, you know, that energy, and so we can progress in our life without the mind disturb us.
Yep.
Okay. No, I mean, if you mean through the technique, okay, the technique also, I mean, we can see, because there are, of course, even some technique we use for in meditation. So while meditating, with open eye at first, as we have said, half eyes are kept open, just to see, you know, all the this energy, how it works, how it keeps us going and coming, and we stay at one point as a witness of all the works of the mind, and just the thought coming and let go and let go and let go. And at one point, all these thoughts are not disturbing anymore. The energy flows inside, and inside we start to perceive. And it's a perception. It's not kind of just knowing what we have inside. I mean, it's like if we mention electricity. We mention electricity and we know how it works. We know and we can describe the potency. But once we touch, then we have experience of that. Absolutely. As we see a cake, once we eat, we have experience of the sweetness. So at the same time, once the mind is controlled, some energy, I mean, we start to have a perception inside. And this is a sign that mind is not disturbing in the process.
Yes,
it is
very rightly said, Leela ji, and thank you very much for explaining this. Personally, I enjoyed a lot talking to you as well as with Aditya ji. I think it's time for us to wrap it up. And now I would like to invite Tulika ji to do the Shanti part. Tulika ji, please.
Thank you, Subhash ji. Jai Sadgurudev. Shanti part. हे प्रभु शांति स्वरूप हो, शांति शांतिमय शांति, शांति शांति जन शांति हो, पूर्ण शांतिमय शांति। हे प्रभु शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व अशांति। देव सदा फल शांतिमय, शांति शांति सुख शांति। बोलिए सद्गुरुदेव की जय। Back to you, Subhash ji.
Thank you very much, Tulika ji. Here now at the closer side, once again, I would like to thank you, Leela ji, especially to you. Thank you very much for being with us. Aditya ji as well from India, and all other
Thank you.
role
Enjoy
holders like
participating.
Sankalp ji, Tulika ji, Davluri ji, and Rekha ji. We would connect again next week for the similar type of question and answer session. Till then, thank you very much. Have a nice day ahead. Jai Sadgurudev to all of you.
भक्ति तदंतर प्रेम है, बाहर से क्या काम। रोम रोम भी ना रहे, निश दिन आठों याम। शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व अशांति। देव सदा फल शांतिमय, शांति शांति सुख शांति। जय स्वर वेद कथा, 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 जय स्वर वेद कथा।